All right, first super. Jacob Ramirez, the other Jacob. He called in last week, right?
Yes, he did.
He says, I called the Sutton signing on the call last week.
Perfect. This is what we needed to see, man. I love to see it. How you feeling, man? Shout out to Jacob, baby. Shout out to him. How you feeling? Do you like it? Do
Yeah.
you love it?
Cornerback spot's taken care of.
Whew. Talk that talk, Deke. Talk that talk.
Yeah, we still got the Avatar upside guy and Corey Trice. I don't know if we want to throw Darius Rush into that category too, but he's a young upside dude that's chilling on the bench.
Technically, what's the difference between Darius Rush and Corey Trice right now?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Trice is just bigger and taller. That's what
okay.
I mean. Am I throwing him in the Avatar category? He's definitely in the young upside category.
I see what you mean, though. Yeah.
But Trice has just a little bit of that extra juice.
He looked freaky.
Yeah, if he reaches his full potential, I think it could be even more dangerous than what Rush could be.
Yeah, because I was like, Rush got some of that. I got a little bit, yeah.
So we still have those guys.
He the guy.
We got our top two, and JPJ and Dante Jackson. We've been hollering this whole time, slot corner. What are we going to do at slot? Are we going to sign an outside guy and bump dudes to the inside, have KZ drop down or Elliott drop down? Or is it going to be one of these unknown guys?
A Benny Bishop, where we were going to do a DeMonte KZ down there?
I was going to say, I don't know if I want to be completely disrespectful and say no-name guys.
I appreciate you for that.
But
you're a real one.
More unknown guy. We'll say that because Anthony Everett we brought in from he was formerly with the Ravens. Yeah. Sat out last season. We just signed a dude from the Texans. I'll say he's a no name. I don't know who.
Don't do him like that, man. Don't do him like that.
Beanie Bishop, like those type of dudes. Is one of those guys going to step up and be our slot corner and win the job in the offseason and training camp and preseason and whatnot? But with Cam Sutton, he's our starting slot. I guess you could motion him around a little bit. You could put him at safety at times. You could put him on the outside at times and bump Dante Jackson to the inside. You could be versatile with the sets you use with Cam Sutton, but I think he will be predominantly playing the slot for us. Probably 70% of the time he's out there, he'll probably be in the slot. And he's good at that. Like, we got to witness him grow up here and become $11 million per year type of player. That's what he signed to go to Detroit last year.
And play outside.
Yeah, and they played him all outside. He struggled a little bit, but now I think him coming back here where he doesn't have to be the outside guy or the top outside guy here and be pretty much the third guy, it's perfect.
Shout out to the homie Deke. Shout out to the homie Cam Sutton as well. Plenty to unpack with this one, man. And you hit all of that on the head, man, to start this thing off, man. In terms of on the field, I don't have any negativity towards this signing, man. This dude was an $11 million per year corner to sign with Detroit just a year ago. 3 for $33 million, 22.5, I believe, was guaranteed at signing. Now, I know some of that got recouped or is in the process of getting recouped. We saw that when the Lions did the whole release and how everything is playing out with that. But in terms of overall skill set, overall talent, Deke said it. A lot of y'all that tune into us are diehard fans. Y'all have watched Cam Sutton since he was drafted here. Shoot, some of y'all might even remember when I called his name on draft night when he got drafted. Shout out to Cam Sutton, baby. So since he's come here, though, we've seen him grow up, right? Develop from just a rotational slot corner. We would say if you want the physical guy, you want Mike Hilton in there. If you want the cover guy, you want Cam Sutton in there, right? Y'all remember those convos, and then it evolved to, dude, he's our starting outside corner. Right? And he played well, especially in our scheme. It was a little bit more protected for him, but he flourished. And that was a big reason why he went to Detroit, because they paid him 3 for $33 million. But they wanted him to play outside, way different scheme in the sense of more true man-to-man. Not a lot of help over top like we would do in cover 2. And in that situation, he did kind of get exposed. And that's why you see the reports that say, Cam Sutton is washed. Cam Sutton is bad. Cam Sutton can't cover. Because, he was playing predominantly outside corner last year. That's not, where he is going to have the most success long term based off of his size and skill set, athletic ability. But the reason why he was able to thrive or at times play really well there in our scheme is because he's extremely smart. He understands how to anticipate, and in the right schemes, when he is protected from his weaknesses, he is able to thrive. And that's ultimately what he did here in Pittsburgh. Different scheme in Detroit. He had an opportunity. It didn't work. Would he have been released? Probably not. But when you have what he had this offseason, that's the big reason why he got released, why everything played out how it did. But ultimately, we've seen now, since a lot of that information has come out, how this opened back up. But we also remember that the Steelers were one of the first teams to be involved in terms of looking into this situation, or at least doing due diligence on the situation. I remember back when it first was still happening very fluidly, the Steelers are one of the teams that were talked about looking into it, trying to see what's going on.
It was around draft time.
Absolutely.
Omar Khan and Tomlin.
So for me, I love that, because that's the due diligence of, this is before we even talked about him being here. This was let's see what's going on though. Let's get information. Let's get some details. And what the initial charges were, they started to get reduced. We even talked about it on the show, and we said, man, all right, they're going down. It's going in a better direction. Now let's see how this continues to play out. Clearly, the Steelers have done their due diligence, and they feel very comfortable with the situation. But at the same time, you're getting a dude that, like you said, was about to make $11 million per year for the next 3 years for the veteran minimum. This is no different than the Russell Wilson deal. This is no different, realistically, than, the Justin Fields type stuff, where it's like you got super low risk, opportunity for extreme high reward. Because you broke down who our options were at slot corner. We've talked about that, the past couple of weeks ad nauseum at times. And we didn't have these surefire options. We didn't have these people that we just felt confident in. You could have optimism for them in the hope that they might do something that we've never seen them do consistently. But it's a different conversation. We talking Cam Sutton versus any of those names, with all due respect. With all due respect. Any of those names that were on this roster that we were flirting with playing slot corner. Heck, even if we talked about moving Dante Jackson from outside to inside slot corner, my personal opinion, Cam Sutton's the best slot corner we have on our team right now. Dante Jackson, I think, is a better outside corner, but his body type is different than Cam Sutton. He's a bigger corner, so he is designed for that. Cam is smaller, more laterally quick, built for these type of dudes who just showed he could play out there. The same way Dante Jackson could play inside. But if you want to see both of those guys be their best, Dante on the outside, Cam on the inside. To me, man, I love all of that, in terms of what he brings from experience, continuity, familiarity. He's already played with these people. He's already played with these coaches. And, hey, man, he back on that vet min with his name got some dirt on it. So now you got a dude that's going to be hungry to prove that he can still play, that what you saw in Detroit last year was not a true representation of what he is as a professional athlete. You're also going to get a guy that, knowing Cam how I know him, yeah, he should be making sure that he's going to be making sure that image is A1 like how it used to be before the whole, whatever took place this offseason came about. Because prior to that, we had never heard anything negative about Cam Sutton. Like I said, man, this is a dude that I know. It's like, bro, it's a good dude, man, like a genuine good heart. So even when you saw the reports, you saw how I reacted to it. It's like, bro, this feels weird because that's not him. But this is. And this is the part that I do like. So, like I said, for me, man, I think this is a dope move, man. And shout out to the Steelers for taking a chance, but also being smart. Don't invest a ton of money in it. Make sure it is what it is. Make sure it can get back to what it was doing while it was here. Man, let's see how that off-field stuff continues to play out as well, man, because Roger Goodell, we'll never know him, right? In terms of you make enough headlines, man, he'll hit you with it, bro. We want to hit him for 2 games just because. You just don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying it will or won't. All I'm saying is that it's something that in the back of our minds, we do need to just be aware of.
Something that ESPN and NFL networks had to talk about for a good month period. Not only the initial reports that came out, but then he was like on the run.
Yeah, because they was like looking for him. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, the NFL doesn't like that. The NFL doesn't want the Shield to be talked about in that type of light. So I get like the general uneasiness that some people have about the signing, but going back to when everything took place, and our stance on it is always let the due process take course, because obviously no one condones what he's being accused of.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's all we had at the time is what is he being accused of. So he's got his right, and he gets lawyers, and you got to see how the due process takes place to defend himself against those accusations. And how it's played out since is the felony charges got dropped to misdemeanor, and then he's taken some type of
like rehabilitation class,
something like that, and if he successfully completes it, which I think he's in the process of right now, like the charges are going to be dropped completely. So all we know is that he's probably going to be cleared from a societal standpoint, like charges dropped, and then all we have is the accusations. Like, we weren't there, we don't know what exactly happened. But yeah, like you said, on the field though, this makes like 100% sense.
And also for me, everything that you just said, 100% I'm with you. I just look at it and say the information that we are personally lacking, right? And I'm sure as fans, y'all want the information, right? We want to know what happened in that house, in that room. They said that you did this. They said that she fell out of there. What happened? We want to know right now. Well, the thing is, you're not his employer. You're not the NFL. You're not the government or the state or whatever was, looking into whoever was looking into those charges. So you're not privy to that information. You just have to come to peace with that. I'm not saying that you got to like it, but that's the reality of it. But the people that do have that information is who? The Pittsburgh Steelers. You don't think Mr. Rooney, Coach Tom, and Omar Khan have had all of this information laid out to them, have talked to him, talked to his lawyer, talked to probably whatever Detroit situation, everything? This is what they do. This is what they have to do. The NFL is doing the same thing. They have all the facts. So I just simply say, if the NFL, if the Pittsburgh Steelers are willing to make this move, they clearly see something that they think, okay, this is not as egregious as what it initially was reported, because we already know how it's been before with the NFL, man, and how since that Ray Rice situation, they are almost over the top heavy hand for even just an allegation. So if they're willing to allow him to come back in any capacity like this, man, you have to trust them in the sense of what the information is that they have, or at least until we get new information. And right now, we don't have anything else other than that.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing with it, man.
And again, we don't know even what happened one way or another, but it's looking like he's going to be cleared from a legal standpoint. But like, let's just say something janky did happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously the story, the report, like all this stuff wasn't good,
right,
on Cam Sutton to be involved in that, like something, like very janky.
Yeah.
Like, I guess there's something to second chances, right? People deserve.
Yeah, we've talked about that as well.
Get second chances, and if he's not gonna have misdemeanor charges or felony charges or have to be locked up, he's free to be employed in America. Then it's like, if the Steelers are willing to take the chance, they did their own due diligence. It's like, what can you do?
That's how I look at it, man.
And you brought this up all the time with AB. If you think that him being back in professional football is just going to enable him more to do bad things, then no, it's not worth it to bring him back and get him employed in the NFL.
And that was the case with him.
You don't think you know Cam? I think all the players that used to play with Cam and are going to be current teammates with him again. Like, I don't think they think this is going to be something that leads to him going down a bad path or enable him at all.
If anything, man, if I could just speak candidly about just him, it's like, bro, Cam, man, this type of dude, man, that loves to be a father. You know what I mean? I remember when he was deciding that, yeah, man, he's ready to get serious with the lady that he was with. It was like, bro, this is a big deal for him, man. Like, he's always been a genuine, soft-spoken, introverted type of cat. But at the same time, man, he enjoys his peoples. And to see that type of report, man, it was like, yo, what is this? Because completely uncharacteristic. How many times has AB's name come up while he was here and then post here? And a lot of the alumni be like, yeah, bro, that ain't. We ain't surprised by that one, bro. Yeah. People be like, yo, hey, could you believe AB did this? We're like, actually, yeah, we could believe that. Yeah. You know what you haven't heard about is way worse than what you have heard. All right. So, yeah. But with Cam Sutton, it was the exact opposite. With Cam Sutton, this was completely uncharacteristic. And I just looked at it as, man, like, we don't have all those facts. But with both of them in that situation, I hope they both can grow from both, can learn from it. But they're young people as well. And I always say, man, yes, second chances are real. And I don't think that him being back employed is going to be a negative. In fact, I think it's a positive because he's going to be back around people that mentally are going to be loving on him, making sure that he is in a good headspace from whatever he just had to overcome. Because it's not just, oh, you're clear, you get to play football. Bro, my man's life is having to get picked back up. When you go through any type of situation with your lady, with your mother of your children, man, that's not an easy thing. So he's enduring that as well. He's also dealing with the public judgment, right? We're talking about it. At least we're positive, but we know not everybody's going to have that type of stance on it. So he has to endure that as well. He also has to deal with, Deke, could you imagine you being scheduled to make $11 million and now you're going to go ahead and make, let's see, what? I think you might be at 800,000, 900,000. That's a heck of a difference, is it not? And it was supposed to be guaranteed to you as well. That's a lot to process. And that's after you did all the work to get there. And you didn't even get to live it that long. You lived for a year. Think about that, man. 1 year, not you back down at the bottom, ground level. Hopefully you can get back to the top. That's a lot to deal with, man. So that's the part where it's like, man, I'm glad that he is going to be around people that are going to love on him. Coach Tomlin, man, that's a heck of a dude to be around. Not just because of the X's and O's on football stuff, but the life stuff. How to process your feelings, communicate, man. That type of stuff, man. So that's the part for me that I do think, honestly, he will be in a better position here with the team, with the guys that are around him, regardless of whatever we see from him on the field, which I do think he's still going to play extremely well on the field as well, though.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
No.
You look even going back to Tomlin and Khan reaching out. I mean, yeah, it kind of just all adds up. Yeah, I mean, it all adds up, especially with how we need a slot corner, something that's missing in our secondary.
Yeah,
him seeming to be on a better path than from what initially happened or what initially was reported or the initial allegations were. Yeah. So here we are with Cam Sutton back.
We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see though, baby. But yeah. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to the Steelers, man.